Hi, today I'm gonna show you how we can install the latest Oracle 14c forms on our Windows 2019 server. So my last video was about how we can install it on Windows 11, but in my previous videos I was separately install the Oracle database and then separately install Oracle forms. So in this video series I'm making it combined. So let's first download the softwares. I'm downloading the Oracle database 21 Enterprise Edition. I will add the link of downloading database in the description. I have already downloaded it, but I will extract it in a folder. You can extract under your choice folder. I'm making the full process, full demonstration, so that you can see there is no error if you follow my video completely and you follow the prerequisites and everything. So this extraction may take some time, so I'm skipping the video here. So let's start when it's complete. We will follow the prerequisites as recommended by the Oracle. So the first one is a computer name. So I'm changing my computer name to my domain name. So this is very important step, and the changes maybe need a restart also. The next step is resolving the IP address under our host file. So I have hosted it in my host file. We will create two folders. One is temp and other is also temp in our C drive. After the restart, we will also install Java JDK for our complete installation on this system. So for this demonstration I'm using Java 21. run the Java JDK as an administrator, and I will change its installation location for my demonstration purpose. You can choose your own. We will add this Java path in our environment variable also. This is also very important step for this installation. After Java installation, a restart also recommended. We will also lower down the user control levels. So after the restart, now we will install our Oracle Database 21C Enterprise Edition, because we are using Windows Server 2019 for this demonstration. I have already downloaded and extracted that. Let's run the setup. First I will set up my software only. Click next. Next. I will choose Enterprise Edition. Next. And here I choose the default. It will check all the prerequisites and we will install our software now. The purpose of showing you the complete installation is that it is not getting any error, and when you followed all the prerequisites that I have mentioned in this video, you will definitely install it and configure it successfully. After the software installation, now I will uh, configure the net configuration assistant, that is the port for my database. I run the net configuration assistant as an administrator. And I will choose the default. After finish, we will configure our database. For that, we will run database configuration assistant as administrator. I almost choose all the values at default. My port is already configured and up. Click next, and I will change a little bit in my processes. I will set the password same for my all users, admin users, that is Oracle. The database configuration is started now. It will take a while. After successfully configure our database, we will check our DNS names for making the connection of our Oracle forms with our database. For that, we have to go to our network and admin DNS names. So this is basically available in apps, app folder. Because by default it has a CBD entry, and we have to set the PDB entry. The ORCL is our CDB, and our PDB is ORCL PDB1 as a default PDB. can further check the PDB name from SQL Plus by running the CMD. You run the CMD and connect it as a DBA. After showing the PDBs, so here we have RCL PDB1 as our default PDB. So now we will download Oracle Forms 14C, the latest release, just released on 20th December. When I am recording this video, it's just 2 and 3 days after the release of Oracle Form 14C. So you can see the Oracle Form 14C requires Fusion Middleware 14.2. So first we will download our Fusion Middleware server. You can use any ordinary account of Oracle. If you don't have any, you can create a free one here. I have already downloaded the Fusion Middleware software, so I will extract it in my location. After the complete extraction, we will run it on Java JDK. So if you don't install the Java JDK as I previously shown, so you must need to download and install that, and the path variable must be set for running smoothly. We will run the CMD command permit as an administrator. Go to the path of Fusion Middleware directory. For installation, we will run the command java -jar -d capital 64 and Fusion Middleware .jar. The installer will start in a few seconds. So click next. We'll choose a location for Fusion middleware. This will be our default form installation location also. You can ignore this error. This is an operating system warning. So as the release is new and we are installing it on previous Windows, so this is showing a warning only. Install. After completing installation of Visual middleware, we will download our forms, and we also need Visual C++. This is all in one version. So I have already downloaded that for this demonstration. So let's run it first. This is also required for this forms installation. I have already downloaded the Oracle Forms 14c for this demonstration, so let's extract it. I will add the link of downloading in the description. Run the form setup as administrator. Form installer has started. Click next. Choose Oracle Home. So it is our Fusion middleware home. I will choose deployment. Choose your Java JDK, the one we have added in our path variable. Click next. After installation of Home, we will first configure our repository. We will run the rcu.bat in cmd as administrator. So this will start our repository creation UI. After completion of our forms installation, now we will configure our repository. For that we will go to our repository bin and run rcu.bat. It will start our repository configuration UI. Okay, click next. Here we put our database credentials. At my case, my database is at localhost. My PDB is at ORCL PDB1, and I will go with my sys user. We encounter with an error. So this error is facing by many persons in my previous video also. So let me explain how to resolve that. The repository is not correctly connecting because maybe there is an issue with database. So let's connect with sysdba, show pdb, and you can see my database is in mounted mode. So my PDB must be in read and write mode. So we will run the command alter pluggable database, another pluggable database name, and open. After successful, now we can proceed to our repository creation again. Let's try to reconnect it. We will put our database credential again, the database service name, and it is successfully connected now. I will choose the component here for my repository and click next. I will use the same password for all my schemas. Click next. Next. It will create our table space required for our repository creation. Okay, and click the create. So this will create our repository. This process again takes some time, so let me skip the video from here. So after the creation of repository, the next step is configuration of a domain. We will create a domain now. For that, run the cmd as administrator and go to the path and run config.cmd. This will start the UI of configuration wizard. I will choose the location as default. Click next. will choose the components here that we need to install. As there are so many updates in Oracle Form 14c, so we will explore it one by one after. But for the time being, we will go with the default one. We will set our username password. For demo purpose, this I am making it simple as WebLogic. We will go with production mode because now we are on Windows Server 2019. I will also check my SSL port because I will configure my SSL with this Oracle Forms 14c later on. It needs database credentials here and a repository name and a repository owner configuration. Now my password was incorrect, so now it is okay. I will choose all the components, click next. It will install one by one, and next. I will choose all the default ports. Click next, 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 next. For managed server, we will not add any entry here. We will choose admin server, and here we will add OHS1 as our component OHS. Click next. My local address is localhost. I add my OHS1 also, and I will click the create. After the creation of domain, we will try to run our console by running our services. So let's start our services first. So for running the services, we will go to our services directory. That it is user project, domain, base domain, and bin. So I will start my services one by one by running the CMD as administrator. First, go to path. We will start all the services one by one. WebLogic. It must need to show the server state change to running for ensuring that our service has started successfully. At first time it may take a long time because it is starting its services first time. So it save all the configuration in backend. So server must show the message of server state change to running. So this will confirm us that our WebLogic service has been successfully running, started. Next we will start our form services. For that again we go to path and here we write start managed weblogic.cmd wls underscore forms. So this will start our form services under our WebLogic server. Again it will take a while. It is asking my username and password for the first time, and we will resolve this username and password in our security folder later on. Server state change to running. So this is our success message, and our form services have been started successfully. Next we will start our report services under the same WebLogic. Start manage weblogic.cmd wls underscore reports. So this will start our reporting services under the WebLogic server. We will put our username password for the first time, and after successfully started we will resolve this in our security folder. On success, it will show us the message server state change to running. After all the services have successfully started, so now we will start our console. As for my case, I have enabled my SSL port, so I will go with my SSL port, that is 9002, and console, and here I will download the console, remote console. For this demo purpose I'm using my Windows, so we can use any platform this remote console. So now we will install that. As for this demo purpose, I have already downloaded that. Let's run it as an administrator. Click next, install, click finish. So after installation of our WebLogic console, we will run it for the first time. It will take a while again. On starting of our console, we will create a connection. So let's put a username for our connection. The username password of our WebLogic is required. As I'm using the admin console with HTTPS, so I will use my admin console port. We will run the enterprise manager, so it has the same look in our 14C. So by putting my username and password, the console will open. The enterprise manager showing that our servers are running successfully. For my WebLogic console, because I have configured the SSL port also for my SSL certificate, so I will use the insecure connection for the time being, because I immediately not resolve the SSL certificate, so HTTPS and our port, and we will use the insecure connection. So this will start our console. Here again we have a tree of our servers, so we will explore this in our later video, because the installation is going long, but we have same interface in our WebLogic console.